SEC stunners, Zach. This will be our last segment. Let's pick some SEC teams who could be upset this week. In week 1, are there any SEC teams that we could see getting upset? Zach and I will talk about a few options, and then we will both pick one game where they could possibly be upset. So Clemson is a favorite over LSU. That one is not eligible. There's some like FCS ones in there where it's just not going to be even close. So I don't have those listed. I have listed 7 different options here, Zach. I have Auburn favored by 2.5 at Baylor. Tennessee favored by 13.5 at Tennessee. Mississippi State is traveling to Southern Miss. I don't understand why SEC and Big Ten teams are playing Group of 5 teams at their stadiums, but whatever. But they are favored by 11.5. Kentucky is at home against Toledo, favored by 7.5. Alabama traveling to Florida State, favored by 13.5. Virginia Tech traveling to South Carolina. South Carolina is favored by 7.5. And then our good old friends, Zach, Georgia State is going to Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is favored by 38.5. I don't think either of us are picking that, but we've talked a lot of Georgia State on this Big Ten Huddle podcast, and I wanted to make sure we listed them one more time. Just in case you wanted to pick them, Zach, I don't know. You might pick Georgia State.
I mean, they beat the self-proclaimed national champions of this year in Vanderbilt last year. So,
So
it could happen.
Big stuff. Yeah, they might take down Lane Kiffin too. Who knows? We'll see. All right. So I will say I was thinking in this one like Kentucky and Auburn were going to be my picks, but I felt like those were boring. Those are both, single-digit games, right? Toledo, I love the idea of a MAC team beating another SEC team like they did last year. I think, was it Bowling Green and Toledo that beat SEC teams? I know Toledo beat Mississippi State, but I think Bowling Green either gave an SEC team a run for their money or beat them. One of those two.
Well, it's not Group of 5, but winless in conference, Oklahoma State beat Arkansas.
Yeah, they did. That's right. I forgot about that. So not Group of 5, but still winless in a Power 4 conference.
Might as well have been. Yeah, might as well have been a Group of
5. But yeah, so I was thinking Toledo at Kentucky there. We'll see what happens. I think it's kind of interesting that Auburn is favored at Baylor. There's a lot of talk about Sawyer Robertson, the quarterback there at Baylor, and how good he's going to be this season. If he's going to be that good, you expect a win out of Baylor here in this one. But ultimately, the one that I will go with, because I want to put a big game up there, I don't want to just pick a 2.5 favorite or anything like that. I'm going to say Syracuse and Fran Brown upsets the Tennessee Volunteers. Joey Aguilar and no Boo Carter, I believe, anymore. I think Tennessee's overrated this season. I just don't think they are what a lot of people think they're going to be. I think they lost a lot of talent last season. They lost Nico. I know he was not the best locker room guy, but still more talented than Joey Aguilar, in my opinion. So, I'll take Syracuse getting the win here at Tennessee. Fran Brown, Steve Angeli, the Notre Dame transfer, coming in there. Give me Fran Brown. I like that one.
That's such a good pick. Makes the pick that I'm. Say? Well, no, but it really is good because I think. I just think Syracuse, is being slept on a little bit. And I think Tennessee is getting an SEC bump that they don't deserve.
I just think I love Fran Brown, man. If a Big Ten team lost their coach tomorrow, I would say hire Fran Brown immediately. I love the dude. I think he's electric. I think he's great.
Have we seen how good he made Kyle McCord? Because that dude is not good in the NFL right now.
Not against Pitt, but other times, yeah. Yeah, just don't look at the Pitt game. He had 4 pick sixes in that game? That was crazy.
Yeah, well, he almost had 4 pick sixes a couple times when playing for Ohio State too. So,
but no, seriously, lucky. I love Fran Brown. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think people have figured out Josh Heupel and his kind of offense. I think you play cover 2, cover 3 deep and just kind of take away the high part of the field. And I think Fran Brown is a smart enough coach. He's going to make that happen. So I like Syracuse in this one.
This is maybe my one concern is that Cuse. They did lose Trevor Pena, but I agree. I think Fran Brown will outcoach Josh Heupel for sure. So,
And Gopher
So
Insights is right. And Jelly looked good in the playoffs when he came
yes, he
in
did.
relief in that. I think it was the Georgia
Absolutely.
game. He came in and I was like, holy cow, like Notre Dame's cooked here. They don't have Riley Leonard, and then he came in and he just led them on the rest of that drive. And I think it was either a field goal or a touchdown they got. And I was like, holy crap! All right, I like this Angeli guy. Keep doing
Yeah.
it to the SEC, bro. All right, go
Well,
ahead.
he saved the game against Penn State. Like,
Yeah,
if you really think about it, I agree with you. I think Toledo and Baylor over Kentucky and Auburn, I think, are the two maybe best picks. I'm gonna go way out on a limb. Do you know who has 5 senior offensive linemen playing for their team in the ACC?
I will say I got the Georgia game wrong. It was the Penn State game. I apologize. You were correct on that. No. I feel like you said it to me earlier, so I may be cheating here, but go ahead.
It's Florida State.
And
5
who plays
senior
them?
offensive linemen.
And who plays them week 1, Zach?
Alabama,
At where?
Florida State.
Oh.
And Thomas Castellanos, a transfer from Boston College, he's the quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback.
You've been
But
talking like a great quarterback.
What? But like I think he's good enough to give people problems. Everybody's hyping up Bama like they're Nick Saban, like they're the Nick Saban team of old. I think Josh Pate picked them to be the national champions, which, to be fair to Josh Pate, he picked Ohio State a year ago. So, like, he knows what he's talking about. But I have not understood the Alabama hype based on who they bring back, Kalen DeBoer's strengths. Like, I think they're going to be good. And all the while, everybody is trashing Florida State because of how bad they were a year ago. Alabama goes into Tallahassee against a team that has rebuilt their roster. I think there's a shot that Florida State knocks them off. So I'll go ahead and pick it. I'll plant my flag. I know I'm probably going to be wrong, but I just don't think it's going to be as easy as people think it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I do think offensive line is better now that Ryan Grubb is there. I would be more concerned about relying on the offensive line so much without Ryan Grubb there, but with him coming back after I think only one season with Seattle. I don't pay enough attention to the NFL, so I don't know what happened there. But it sounds like it wasn't good if he only was there for one season. But him coming back, I feel more confident about the offensive line than I did at the beginning. But still, like, this is a team where the defense is much more hyped up than anything else, and I don't see that from Kalen DeBoer teams all that often. I mean, they had a pretty good defense at Washington, but overall, that team was not led by the defense. So for me, a true test of a coach is the ability to go and not just win the way you've always won, but take the strengths of your team and win that way. Can Kalen DeBoer do that? He's been a very good coach in his career. He's done it at other places, so I'm not going to say he can't do it, but this is also big time, big college football. This is the SEC, which is on par with the Big Ten. It's the best conference in college football, and this is a situation where Kalen DeBoer is gonna have to get it done if he wants to kind of shake off that Nick Saban dust a little bit with the expectations and everything there. So, if they had a Michael Penix Jr. transfer in there instead of Ty Simpson, yeah, I'd buy the Alabama hype. But Ty Simpson didn't look great a couple years ago. He didn't exactly make Jalen Milroe look like the best quarterback in the world. Now, maybe that's just Jalen Milroe. I have no idea. But as far as I'm concerned, I really like Kalen DeBoer at Washington, but I'm just not sold on this Alabama team yet. Maybe they'll blow out Florida State and win 42-13. If that's the case, I'll get more on board with it. But I don't think it's a crazy pick to say that Florida State could upset Alabama in this game.
Yeah. And, people in the chat, like, Castellanos, is he the guy you really want to bet on? Probably not. I will say this. Mike Norvell, as much as, he got denigrated a year ago for going 2-10, 2 years before that, 10-3, 13-1, should have been in the playoff in 23, if not for the quarterback getting hurt. he's a good coach. Like, he had a bad year, but he's a good coach. So would I say, I mean, I never would advocate betting, but would I bet on this game? No, like, not at all. But for a flyer on a team that could upset someone else, I think Syracuse is more likely, but I'm for the object of our show to go back and forth, I'm gonna pick FSU over Alabama.
I like it. I like it. Trojan Fight says DeBoer and the he's won everywhere is overplayed. He reminds me of Chris Peterson. The losses just haven't stacked up yet. Well, and I do think you need to give credit for winning in other places, but it's also like, do we give credit to all the guys that have done that, right? Brian Kelly won a bunch before he got into the FBS. Does he still get credit for that? No. And probably the same thing needs to be said about Kalen DeBoer. We acknowledge that it happened. He deserves credit for doing that, but that doesn't translate to Alabama football. That doesn't translate to Big Ten or SEC football. It translated for 1 year at Washington, which was great, and he did well at Fresno State. But it's a whole other animal when you're playing an SEC schedule, when you're playing a Big Ten schedule week in and week out. And I'm not trying to disparage the Pac-12 or anything like that. I'm more so saying that was 1 year at Washington. So we'll see.